Everyone has their own definition of what freedom looks like, right? I feel like when you're working a 9 to 5 or like you're doing something that you don't really like, your idea of freedom is like getting out of that 9 to 5 or getting out of the rat race. But that's not the case for every single person. Freedom really comes down to like what your values are, what you value. If you're able to decipher and really put focus on what you value in life and make that come to life, then you'll be free. I've really, really tried to have hardcore values over the last few years. Obviously, we have our values that our family gives us and just from like raising us and their household and whatnot, but sometimes those values don't resonate with the older version of yourself. Or sometimes you realize that there are a few more things that you want to like tag on to that. And one of the things as a Sagittarius, I'm not like super into signs, but I am a Sag. And Sagittarius really, really, really value freedom. And for a long time, I thought that for me, freedom meant like, oh, I'm super rich. I can buy whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. But like, freedom can come in the little things. Freedom is whatever you hold near and dear to your heart. Like, I'm gonna give you a few examples. So, I really, really enjoy juicing. That's one of my values. Like, juicing weekly, daily if I can, is something that I really enjoy to do. And using organic fruit, shit, even if I was growing it, I'm not there yet, but like, if I was growing my fruits and vegetables and juicing them, that's something that I really, really value. So, when I think about building my ideal life and I think about, achieving the ultimate level of freedom for me, juicing, having the access to juice fresh vegetables and fruit every single day is something that I have to have. Like, that's one of like a few things that I really value, but like that's just something that I have to have. That might not be the same for somebody else. You can't compare your idea of freedom to somebody else's. Working that 9 to 5, being in big corporate law or something like that, that may be freedom to somebody. That may be the way that they exercise their power. It gives them life. Like, that is a value of theirs. So they're free like that. I wouldn't be free like that. Like, it's just not possible. One of the things that I've really, really been able to come up with over the last few years is just like realizing how important knowing what your values are when you're on your self-love journey and when you're on your journey to freedom. Because, it's funny, like, we don't think that we're free when we're children, right? And we think that, when you become an adult, like, oh, I'm free. But in all actuality, you're only as free as you allow yourself to be under the confines of the values that you actually put into place, that you actively pursue, that you actively make come true for you, the ones that you actually stand by. Like, I don't think people understand how if you don't value your values, your life could possibly be miserable. You probably would hate just doing regular things every day. Life becomes really mundane. And like, with life being so exciting and so it's moving every day, like nothing, the world don't stop. There's no reason for you to not be able to reach your level of freedom with the values that you want for yourself. It's really just that simple. Here's how I was able to really like map out my values. I feel like at the end of the year, everybody's making their vision boards for like things that they want to accomplish. I like to do this in the middle of the year as well, and we're approaching the middle of the year, so we're about to do that. But everyone likes to put their goals on a vision board, but no one likes to really think of what their values are going into that next year, because your values change over time. A lot could happen in a year. So the way that I sit down and decipher what my values are, I think about the past year or so of my life. And I think about the times where I felt the most joy. And I think about the times where I felt the most discomfort or pain. And with that, I am able to decipher exactly what I really love. Like in this past year, I've encountered a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, but I've also experienced a lot of good things. Like I've experienced some things with my health, and it made me realize like I value what I put in my body. I value my health. I value the food I eat. Like I want things that nourish me. And I'm not going to say that I wasn't healthy before, but after experiencing this thing that I experienced, I was able to understand like, oh, this is a value of mine. I need to add that to my list when I am in my ultimate freedom bag, you know? Or for instance, like going to work every day. That is not something, going to work every day for something I hate, that is not good for me. Like that's discomfort. So on my list of values was like, okay, well, in this upcoming year, I will make it a point to make sure that I'm in a place where I am only getting up every day and working for myself or working for something that I love. Hence why I'm at YouTube and I'm doing my channel, or hence why I have this amazing job working in the fashion industry with a designer, because that is something that I really enjoy and that's one of my values. So really sit down and think about it. What brings you comfort? What brings you pain? You'll be able to figure it out rather quickly. So also, one thing about when you do realize what those values are and you have them specific and set in stone, you have to also figure out, okay, well, how am I gonna like stick to my values? Like, how am I gonna make sure that these things are like etched in stone? For one, I don't shy away about telling people what I value or showing people what I value, because when you show people what your values are and when you tell them what your values are, it's easier to, one, know who you want to be around, because I don't be around people that don't respect my values and what I want, or our values don't align. So I am very quick to bring that up in conversation, or like just express that, or invite somebody into a setting where they know that, okay, she's a healthy girl, like she likes healthy stuff, or like, oh, she doesn't drink, like she doesn't like drinking. You know, I want people to know rather quickly. So it's easier for me to surround myself with the people that have like values, and it's easier for me to stand on my values. One thing, and I know I've said this in my last video about boundaries, but even with having your own values, like saying no to things, like gets very, very easy when you know what you value. Like, I also value my time. I don't want to do anything that doesn't align with my values at all. I don't. Unless, like, even with the boundaries video, I said this, unless it's coming from a place of like pure love and I just want to put myself in a situation where I'm really, really helping somebody. But if it does not align with my values, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't even put myself in situations where my values could be tested. Like, I just don't. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't lead me to the path of freedom that I'm on. And life is so ever changing. Like I said, your values change over time. And we're always on we're always on this path to freedom. And on this path to freedom, with our values changing, we're always striving. And we're always trying to make sure that we are honoring ourselves in the way that we want to live, in the way that we want to express ourselves. So you have to be serious about what your values are. You have to be serious about what you're standing for. It's so important to really grasp this, because I feel like if you don't grasp what your values are and how you're going to stand on them and how you're going to execute them, then freedom just doesn't happen, or you'll never feel free. Like some people, like I know one of my friends, like she values a daily nap. she is not going to do anything that is not going to allow her to have a nap daily, period. And I respect it. It might seem a little whatever, like I'm not really a napper. I don't have to nap every day. Typically I don't nap. But if that's what she wants, if in her life story she naps every day and that is her freedom card, then she better make damn sure that she gets that nap in every day. Because you love yourself. It's a part of self-love. It's a part of doing what you said you were going to do. It's a part of respecting the person that you have framed yourself to be, or the person that these life experiences have framed us to be. They always say a person that stands for nothing falls for anything. And that goes right hand in hand with your values. Like, nothing matters for real if you don't have any values. People don't want to be around people that don't have values. Like, you think like, oh, I'm gonna just go with the flow type of person. People love me, like da. I used to be kind of like that. But like I used to be kind of like that thinking when I was a people pleaser, thinking that this would make people like me. First of all, I retired my people pleasing card, first and foremost. But second of all, that's not how people like you. People may like enjoy your company because you're easy to be around, you're easygoing, but like real love and real connection happens when you are very much so clear and you stand on your values. You have things that you don't fuck with. You have things that you really fuck with. And you're not afraid to show that. Period. This is how you grow. This is how you attract your tribe. This is how you make sure that relationships that are in your life are real. You have to be vulnerable. Like, you have to show people who you are so that you know who's for you and who's not for you. If you're putting on a persona, then what the fuck? You're gonna attract people of that persona that you're putting on. Like, it's just dumb. But on my quest to freedom, I've really, really mapped out how I want my life to look and how I want my values to align with the places I go, with the people I see, and with the things I experience. And I hope all of y'all do the same. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm so grateful for anybody that made it to the end of this video. I'm going to keep pumping out content. I'm going to keep talking about the things that are really, sitting heavy on my heart, and the things that I know will help me and the risk takers here become the best versions of themselves. I really want y'all to give me some suggestions of topics. I also want y'all to let me know if there's some things that you would like to see me do in my videos, or things you'd like I said, things you'd like to see me talk about, because the videos are for y'all, but they also help me because I'm reiterating things that I've been learning over the past few years, but I'm also discovering some new things. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.